in 2012, on the back of the System Center RTM release, we delivered a national System Center 2012 roadshow. With the recent release of Service Pack 1, we wanted to take the opportunity to give you a quick refresher on the key features in the 2012 product, as well as deliver you some of the updates included in the Service Pack 1. This session is going to focus on System Center 2012 Operations Manager. Now, Operations Manager is an enterprise system, service, and network monitoring tool. Now, Microsoft have been delivering operations monitoring tools for a number of years now, from MOM 2000 through 2005, SCOM 2007, and through to the really mature enterprise class product that's available now in Operations Manager 2012. And it's highly regarded within the industry as the best of breed for particularly monitoring Windows-based solutions. So Microsoft, with their operations monitoring solution, wanted to be able to reduce your total cost of ownership when it comes to monitoring the key systems in your environment. So 2012, they focused really on simplifying the topology that needed to be deployed to support monitoring your solution. So out of the box now, we can deliver a highly available monitoring solution, because ultimately monitoring is a critical component in your environment. We need to know when things are performing badly or when they're unavailable entirely. With SCOM 2007, that came at a cost because we had to deploy clusters to deliver that high available solution. Now we can deliver it out of the box simply by deploying multiple management servers. So the load can be distributed across those management servers, ultimately giving us a simpler hierarchy and a cheaper solution. Now, Operations Manager has widely been regarded as the best of breed for monitoring Windows-based solutions. And the reason that is because the product teams that develop the Microsoft products also are responsible for developing the management packs. So you'd have to imagine that the developers know the product better than anybody else. They know the right components to monitor and also how they should be performing and behaving. So with the product team developing the management packs, we're getting really detailed, informative alerts. Anytime we identify issues in our environment, we're getting an alert that comes through with a number of different possibilities as to why we might be receiving that alert, and also some possible resolution steps, sometimes even linking you back to knowledge base articles or hotfix information that's available through support.microsoft.com. But more and more organisations, they want to get away from having multiple management systems deployed in their environment. We don't want to have a monitoring solution for monitoring Windows, plus a different one for monitoring our network devices, then another one for monitoring our applications, and another one for monitoring our storage. Because you could see having all of those different systems without having them roll up into a single console, it's difficult to understand the impact that an incident in one system might be having on another system in our environment. So Operations Manager 2012 gives us this holistic view of our environment. We get 360-degree view into all of the systems deployed in our environment. So when it comes to Windows, we've been doing that for a long time with Operations Manager, and we've had great success with that. But now with 2012 and native network monitoring built into the product, we can support any network device that is SNMP v1, 2C or 3. So we're covering all of those SNMP communication types directly within the product. And you can extend that even further by introducing additional management packs. So not only Microsoft write management packs, many of the hardware vendors write management packs, many of the independent software vendors write management packs for other products. And for organisations that require a particular device to be monitored or a product to be monitored and there's not a commercially available management pack, we can develop them for you too. We have in-house skills at Data#3 to develop custom management packs to extend your monitoring solution realistically to any device that you've got deployed in your environment. So in addition to the network monitoring capabilities that are included in the product, Microsoft licensed a component of the EMC Smarts product. So what this gives us is some real mature network discovery capability. So using that technology, we're actually able to start to identify how devices are connected together within our environment as well. So through that, when we're looking at the network devices within our dashboards, we can start to build a topology diagram dynamically anytime we select a particular device. So we can see switch A is connected to switch B and which ports they're connected on, and also what the status and availability of the link is between those two devices. So you can see that's delivering us some really powerful data so that we can understand where servers are connected and if a switch is down, what the potential impact of that is. So we've talked about simplifying the topology, reducing the total cost of ownership, delivering this holistic view. But when it comes to monitoring, realistically, it's all about the visualizations and the presentation of that data to our end users. Thankfully, Operations Manager delivers us a number of different ways we can consume that information. Firstly, there's a consistent experience across all of the consoles. So we've got a thick console, which requires an application to be installed on a desktop. That's the primary way that we would consume that information from an IT admin perspective. But then if you're not at your machine, we've got a web console that delivers all of that same information, so that if we're away from our machine, we're emailed and notified that there's an incident that we should potentially be looking at, we can load the web console up and have a look at all of that data. But 2012 introduces us dashboarding capability. So through the SharePoint web part, we can actually publish out that information to our end users. And we could dictate exactly what information is presented to those users. Some users, it might be very high level, but then for our IT admin team, we might want to present out information that's a little bit more detailed and a little bit more granular, so we can identify if there's potential performance impacts as a result of an outage. And as part of all of our Operations Manager solutions, we highly recommend looking at the SARvision Live Maps product. So what that does is, if any user's used to using Visio, we can create those really mature diagrams. You know, we might build a diagram for our messaging service that's made up of Exchange, our mail gateways, our routers, and we can present that out in a logical and meaningful format for our users. But using Ops Manager and integrating that into the Operations Manager console, we can overlay health objects. And then through that service, we can roll that up to an application health dashboard as well. So we could have these dashboards set up at strategic locations around our network operations center or our IT department that shows at a very high level how our applications are performing from a health perspective. If we identify an issue, the health indicator will start to flash amber or red, and we can simply double click on that application within the dashboard, drill in and get an exploded diagram of the service. So you can understand how that can add real value to your IT admin team, because I might not necessarily be a messaging admin, but using the service diagrams, I can clearly and quickly understand where the potential problem is and what impact that might be having on our end users. And finally, this Operations Manager solution, we need to be able to provide reporting. So we might want to have some performance trending. We want to see how servers are performing this month compared to the same month last year, so we can understand how the growth of our business has affected the performance of the systems that we're making available to our end users. Operations Manager reporting utilises SQL reporting services, so all of the features that you've come to expect from reporting services, like the ability to access reports through the web console, or even schedule reports to be delivered to the file system or via email, are all available to your Operations Manager users as well. So Service Pack 1 introduces a number of new features, and Microsoft have really focused on application performance monitoring with Service Pack 1. So developers are going to get some real value out of this, because the application performance monitoring is all about capturing alerts, performance issues, and application exception events that might not necessarily bring an application completely down, but is impacting the end user experience. So through the Service Pack 1 enhancements, we can now integrate in with Team Foundation Services 2010 and 2012. We can convert those application performance events into IntelliTrace. So that'll enable your developers to manipulate that data within the tools that they're used to using when it comes to debugging the applications. Of course, there's some new management packs. So there's new management packs for Windows Server 2012 and iOS 8. And we've got new custom dashboards for displaying that application performance data into those dashboards. And by publishing them out in dashboards, we can make them available in SharePoint as well. And Microsoft are really extending that commitment around cross-platform monitoring. 2012 introduced support for HP UX, for AIX, for Linux, Unix, Solaris. Microsoft have taken that even further with CentOS, Debian, Oracle, and Ubuntu Linux as well, directly within the platform. We understand that many of you have Operations Manager 2007 or 2007 R2 deployed in your environment today. It is a widely deployed solution. So there's a couple of options that you've got to get to 2012, because 2012 is a native 64-bit only monitoring platform. So you can do a side-by-side migration, which we regularly work with customers and do. You can deploy the Operations Manager 2012 agent, and it can report health to both management groups. Or you can do an in-place upgrade, but there's a couple of steps you need to take to make sure that that's successful. And that includes upgrading all of your existing 2007 R2 servers to 64-bit before you can do the 2012 upgrade. Now, if you're not running an Operations Manager solution in your environment at the moment, but you still see real value in Ops Manager 2012 and you want to migrate, our recommendation there would be a side-by-side migration. Monitor using both systems until you're comfortable that Ops Manager is capturing all that data, and then do the transition across to the Ops Manager 2012 solution as your primary monitoring platform.